good
welcome.
morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining. I'm Bailey.
I'm Nick.
This is one of our weekly live streams. We fire up a Glowforge and we print something together.
Yep.
We really like to teach you all new skills. So if you already have a Glowforge, you could print along with us or just, take notes. If you're watching live, these are rewatchable back afterwards,
yes.
FYI. So you don't have to scramble. You can
enjoy it at your pace. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's April, and so you might have noticed a lot of friends and family getting engaged a few months ago. I know every year without fail, it is engagement season over the holidays.
And this year especially, what with weddings and things being postponed from the previous two. I know for me, I have at least 4 this summer already.
Oh, geez.
Who knows how many others are coming?
Wow. So you get engaged over the holidays, then wedding season. Basically, I don't know, weddings from probably like May through, I read recently that October is now the biggest wedding month. And in 2019, so pre-pandemic, I got married on October 12th. October 19th, 2019 was the most popular wedding day of the whole year in 2019. Wow. The fall wedding is on vogue, or was that year.
I wonder if everything got expensive in April and everybody decided.
Exactly. I mean, that's why that's one of the reasons we did it. So maybe now that's the peak season price.
Right,
so.
exactly. Yeah. So
It'll
April
shift back
could be
to
the time.
The cheap June wedding. Who knows? In any case, weddings are a really amazing opportunity to use your Glowforge, whether you are, getting married and you can make custom decor. I have a couple of pieces from my own wedding that I'll show off in a moment. Or, Nick just mentioned he's going to up to 4 weddings. I haven't received my invites yet, so I'm sure they're in the mail.
It's not my wedding, just to be clear.
Right, no, but my friends, No, I don't actually think I have anybody getting married this year.
Really?
There's a lot of Zoom weddings.
Oh,
yeah, they just went forward with it.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever works,
Right, exactly. But gifts, wedding gifts can be, really expensive. You want to give somebody something nice, meaningful. You don't want to look cheap, but so making things can be a really amazing way around it. We just did the home shopping network with Glowforge a couple days ago, and the host was saying one of her friends just uses Glowforge for wedding gifts, and she thinks it's already paid for itself with wedding gifts. I'm like, man, you must be like a professional wedding guest.
Right?
Right,
a professional wedding guest. That's amazing.
Yeah. Just invite her to
You
come.
don't know me, but
it's like that woman who's a professional bridesmaid, like for real.
Yeah.
That's
fascinating.
She could use a Glowforge though. Does she have one?
Yeah.
She could level up that bachelorette party. Anyway.
If you're out there watching.
Yes. So let me show you. Today we are going to teach you how to print one of those really trendy acrylic signs that you might see at any wedding or event.
Yeah.
And gosh, okay, I kid you not. I saw, it was one of the Glowforge groups actually, someone had done this on a pro, and it was a big piece, right? So maybe like this, and it said, welcome to the wedding of whoever, and they were asking about pricing it, and and they were saying some numbers, and I thought, no, that's too much. And I went on Etsy, and I couldn't believe it. A big sign like that was $400 to $600.
Really?
So there's you can make some real money with these signs. So mine weren't quite that big.
Or save some money potentially.
Oh gosh, exactly. Yeah. So mine weren't quite that big. So I have, let's see, where are the acrylic ones?
These ones down here. All right.
I stayed mostly with stuff that just fit in the bed of the Glowforge. I didn't do any big dramatic signage for mine. So this was kind of.
There we go.
I had a little museum area at my wedding. One of my friends did this where she had photos and art and artifacts from travel with her partner, and so we kind of copied that idea and did this. So this right here is a custom timeline of our relationship. So I did our first date, and when we did different trips, when we adopted our dog, bought a house, and then the day that we got married, right?
Yeah.
Did I just say my wedding date wrong? That's amazing. I totally did at the beginning. I said I got married on the 12th.
You did.
That is so funny. I hope my husband's not watching this.
He's like, I thought it was the 10th.
He's not. I do these every week. That's so funny. It must have been that the 12th was the most popular and the 19th was mine. I think I just had it backwards. Anyway, so this is one of the big ones. So this is just the size that will fit in any size Glowforge. Didn't need to use pass-through. But something like this size on Etsy, I think, especially with the flower detail, which was just, something I added from Michael's, at least $100. And this cost me in materials $15 or something.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Maybe even less if you bought the material in bulk too. Yeah.
So not only did I do this little relationship timeline, if you will, I also had, we have an example kind of right here, not from my wedding, but just another one that we made. This one has a cool finishing effect, but basically a table map, if you will, like where am I sitting, sort of thing. So.
And this one's pretty cool because it has this really neat paint effect. And what's happened here is we've engraved the detail into the front of the acrylic, filled that in with this gold acrylic fill paint, which I'll show you in a sec, and then just basically splashed on in a somewhat artistic way some dark paint behind it just to make those letters pop. And it's super cool. It's very simple. Yeah. It's very easy to do, even though it looks particularly, I would say, high-end or sophisticated. And depending on where you hang it, it kind of looks like these things are floating. It's really, it's really nice.
I love the acrylic sign stuff, and it hasn't gone out of style yet. I don't think. It's 2022. It was really in 2019. I think it's still pretty in. and I mean, you can expand, of course, all these ideas that we're saying beyond weddings.
Birthdays.
I made, let me show off really quick, this fun little, this is from the Glowforge catalog. This is like a drink caddy. So keeping on with the wedding theme or just anything for the springtime, imagine having like a little garden party where you make special drinks. This is a caddy you can carry pint glasses with, and I use the Glowforge premium tools to engrave all these. I think I was like really thirsty. Rosemary lemonade, hibiscus iced tea, blueberry fizz.
Some little graphics there in the middle too.
Exactly.
And it's super simple, but I mean, it makes carrying drinks so much easier.
Yes. And I know garden parties and stuff are really popular for bridal showers and that sort of thing.
I mean, just thinking in general, I imagine this year there'll be a lot more people getting together over the summer.
Yes.
And larger groups of people too, more drinks. I mean, you could probably squeeze on another 2 glasses on
this
there.
This could be cute for Easter. You know? Easter brunches with like specialty drinks. That's also coming up.
No reason why you couldn't change the size of those holes too. If you prefer a champagne flute or something like that, make the hole smaller in Glowforge software.
Cute, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then here at the front, I also made these are like little mini pallets from like Michael's or a craft store or something. And this was the wood-fired pizza menu, and I have one over there that's like the drinks menu. And I just thought it was so fun because I could put, my husband and I love craft beer, so we had not just like beer, we had, you know, the type of beer and the percent and the brewery and all the details, like on the, I don't have the dessert one, the wood-fired pizza, we had the options. We had a bunch of vegan friends there, so we need to make sure that they were represented. So it was super fun to have it detailed, for me at least. I enjoyed it as the bride.
Right, and it's super personal, but it wasn't particularly expensive to achieve.
Exactly.
I mean, at least for me personally, when I think about weddings, it is just one day, you know, and the memories last forever, but the physical things that you have there, you spend a lot of money on them, and then what do you do with them?
Oh, but they really get you, right? Because you've got all these things, and you're like, but it's your wedding.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's how all these girls are spending $5,000 on a dress or whatever, because you're like, don't choose the cheap one, but it's a tricky one. But in any case, I really loved making a lot of my own wedding decor, and with Glowforge, I didn't feel like I was compromising, like that my stuff was going to look homemade because it was so custom.
So yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's a great segue into the whole idea of designing for Glowforge too. Like, if you're interested in this kind of thing but don't see yourself as being a designer, you can absolutely use the Glowforge software, which we'll show you in a sec, to achieve pretty much all of this with just a few clicks.
Yeah, so I did these in PowerPoint because we had not launched the Glowforge software yet, but we have now, so.
So we absolutely take advantage of that. But if you go onto Etsy and search for Glowforge Wedding SVG, you'll be able to find things that you can print immediately from this for, you know, normally between $2 and $5.
Like whole kits of table table designs, for example, or bar signage, stuff like that, that like would be common at lots of events. And then the way that you print it, of course, it'll look totally, you know, custom to you.
Yeah.
So,
and we're biased, obviously, but if you're going to spend $100 grand on a wedding, like maybe save $8,000 and get yourself something like this that'll last for a really long time, and then make all of this
seriously,
stuff
and then you'll still have this, unlike all the $4 cupcakes, right? Those are gone the next day.
Yeah, that's it. Should we jump right in?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I wanted to say too, just really quickly, as we've done more of these, it seems like people out there who are watching really enjoy when we get more specifically into a project or a technique.
Right.
So we're going to do probably a few more of those. If we're wrong, however, and that's not what you want to see, please let us know. Put it in the chat, leave it in the comments, something like that. We're trying to figure out the balance between what we show and say.
Yeah.
And we want these to be helpful and enjoyable and hopefully fun. So, you know, any feedback is welcome.
Yeah. So this one, we're going to show how to make a sign, a table sign is what we're going to do, right?
Yeah, I think we'll riff off of that.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll make the thing that goes in the middle of the table that says table 1. Or whatever.
So imagine you're one of these people and you say, I'm at table whatever.
There we go. Now I need to find my table. Which one is it? Yeah. And we'll show you the paint effect. I'll show you those fill paint sticks, which are super cool. This cool acrylic trick as well. We're going to engrave on the back and reverse it. You'll love it. You'll love it. Yeah. All right, let's dive right in. And we're actually going to start today with the Glowforge print app and a completely blank screen. You'll notice there's absolutely nothing on here at all. I'm going to create this entire thing in here just to show you how quick and easy it is. So first of all, let's make an outline for our table sign. I'm thinking let's go with just something simple like a square. So I'm going to choose the square tool, click that, it's going to pull up our square, and then we can head down here to this little measuring ruler, and we can type in a size. And what size are we thinking? I'm thinking, what, like 100 mil wide by, say, 150 tall, do like a portrait style thing? Apologies, I do metric, but you can use inches in here
like
too.
4 inches and 6.5 inches.
Let's see. The nice thing is you can type any units you want into these fields and it will automatically convert them for you, which is kind of cool. So for me, I don't have to think about doing the math or anything. So here is our rectangle. We've got our rectangle the right size. We can even round the corners if we want to as well, which is kind of nice. So let's do that too. Just soften them up because they can be kind of sharp. And so here we have that. And then let's add our text. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, hit the text tool. That's going to launch the box. And from here, we can choose from hundreds of fonts, if not thousands, because this feeds in from Google fonts.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of them in here. And if we click down here, we've got some categories on the left-hand side. We can favorite fonts that we like by clicking the little heart button, and then we'll find it in the Your Favorite section just here. We can browse all of them if you have 45 minutes to scroll through this menu. I mean, there is literally that many.
That can be such a rabbit hole.
Oh, it really is.
Then you have to find the exact right one.
Exactly.
And then you're like, wait, what about that one that was 5 fonts ago? And you can never find it again.
Yeah. Well, click the heart, favorite it. You can always go back to it. You can unfavorite if you fall out.
That's a really nice feature. I'm glad we have that.
So I just chose this category of elegant on the left-hand side. I'm going to choose one of these script type fonts here, which looks quite similar to what we had over there. It's not exactly the same, but that's okay. And then in the text here, we're going to type table. And I'm going to separate this out so we can change the size of the text individually. So there's our word table. Let's put that up at the top. And you can see how simple this is. I'm just dragging, dropping, resizing. If we really want to, we can go down here and we can type in a specific size. But we're at the point where we're just going for like an artistic look right now. I'm going to click the font tool again. This time I'm going to type the number 1. You can see how that updates straight away too. Back to elegant. We could pick a different font here, see if we can find a different. Oh wait, I didn't type 1. I typed exclamation point. Is that the kids table? I don't know what that would be if you had an exclamation point table. All right, let's go back to here. Let's find a nice one. Here we go. Okay, let's go with this one. And this time I'm going to make this much bigger. Let's put this, over here. Zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to position all of this kind of towards the top of this particular design here, because I'm imagining this will be in a base or something like this. Now that's looking pretty good. I'm also going to select all of those, and I've got some alignment tools down here. So I'm just going to click center just to make sure everything's aligned. It looks like it already was. And our design essentially is ready to go. We can add as much or as little to this as we want. I mean, for example, Bailey was talking about a menu. We could click into this plus button here. We can search over 3 million different icons. Let's say we were going with the pizza. We can search for pizza and find something that's useful here, and we just click on these, and they drop right in.
They really represent like a lot of styles too. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
You can go something more cartoony or something more realistic looking. It's pretty impressive, the variety, even for something like pizza.
Yeah, and again, even for pizza.
And they'll have something. And they'll have something like so specific too, like. If you type in, rosemary or basil, there'll still be 1,000 options for each of those things, not just herbs.
Let's try basil, yeah. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, there we go. Look, a perfectly detailed basil plant.
I love it.
Literally everything.
I've made some garden stakes in my days, so.
There you go, top tip. And so at this point, once we have a design ready, all we need to do is choose the material we're going to use. This time around, it's going to be clear acrylic.
Yep.
We're going to stick it into the machine, and we're going to print it. And then we'll get on to the paint effects and things that we've been chatting about.
So we're using proof grade clear, medium clear acrylic. You can see it does not look clear. Be a bad window.
That's true.
It's because it has the coating on it. We coat all of our material with just this lightly sticky, it doesn't leave any stick on it. It comes off, but it's just a paper so that you don't kind of get the scorch mark look.
Absolutely, it just protects it. And especially with acrylic too, which is really glossy. If you have it in storage for a while, it tends to get scratched really easily. So this helps to prevent that.
That's very true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that for storing it. That's so true.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think most people buy 5 sheets of this at a time, just so you have stock, right? Oh, nice. Okay, and so here you can see, for those of you who might not be familiar, the screen is updated and we can see exactly what's inside the bed. We call it live preview. Makes it super easy. And I can just grab this right now and move it to where I want it to print. And let's say we were going to do multiples of these. I can grab table 1, select it all, Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V. Then I can select the 1, brings up the text tool. I can change that to 2. And then I've got table 2 ready to go. Oh, I lost it. Where did I put it? Sorry, I also hit a keyboard shortcut there, but it's right up here.
It's up there. It's out in like the black hole.
Yeah. But you can see how quickly you could build these up. And of course, we can add as much text as we want or as little as we want. For this case, let's just print 1 to keep it nice and quick. I'm also going to think, to keep the print time down, I'm actually going to make a little change here. Because when Glowforge prints these, it actually prints from the bottom all the way up to the top. And if we have a design that's taller than it is wide, it takes a little bit longer to print. So I'm going to delete that 1. I'm going to reopen table, and I'm going to add the 1 right here, just as a design. Oh, I hit that same keyboard again, didn't I? Keyboard shortcut again. There we go. Let's do it like this. And this will work perfectly just for this demonstration. And this way, as the Glowforge print head goes like this and works its way up the design, it'll be able to print a little bit more fast.
Oh, I see, I see.
Next thing.
Tricky.
This is that tip that we were talking about.
Okay.
We're going to select our text right here, move along to the right-hand side, and choose this flip horizontal option. See what that does? Just flips it around. And the reason for doing that, especially with clear acrylic, is if we engrave the reverse of it, we can turn the acrylic around. We'll be able to read the text from the front, but it'll be smooth. It won't have that engraved, rough surface texture.
Like, and if you're looking down into acrylic that it's engraved, it looks rough. It looks like a little bit plasticky. I mean, this is if you're being really critical, but we are, okay?
Yeah, of course.
And even sometimes, depending on the quality of your image that you engraved, you might even see like stratification, like lines even. But if you print backwards like this and you're looking at it from the front, it's all smooth. You just get this kind of frosted effect on the inside of the acrylic.
And that's exactly what you did with this, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So touching it here is smooth. It's engraved backwards here.
Yeah.
And yeah, because this font is so big, if you actually look up at this really, really close, there's a bunch of tiny lines, which nobody at my wedding would have been looking at that.
If that's what they're focused on, yeah, there's probably other problems, right?
Bailey's real nice, but did you see the engrave on that sign? But yeah, but you know.
You know.
Okay, this is blinking.
That's it. So let's hit that, kick this off.
Okay.
This is about 9 minutes, this print. So we can talk about a few other things while this is going, including these, which is what I wanted to share with everybody today. This is something I've been using for a long time. It's called a lacquer stick, this particular brand. They call it fill-in paint. And it's basically oil paint that's in a sort of crayon form. And it forms a skin. It never really dries. It forms a skin. But with this, what you can do...
Kind of like a pastel.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
a little bit different consistency.
You sort of scrub that skin away to reveal the
it's softer in there.
surface. And then you find some engraving and you scrub it in, like this, essentially. And that fills it in and injects some color into what you've done. And then all the excess, you just wipe it off with the tissue. And we'll show you exactly how that works in just a sec.
That's how you would get effect, sorry.
Yeah, exactly,
like
just like that. Yeah, really, really easy.
And then the black on the back is just separate, obviously. But you wouldn't even have to do that. You could have kept it. Probably it's better contrast with the gold.
I mean, that's a great point. We use clear for this, but if you wanted to, you could use black, say, and you could use a white version of this. It's available in a few different colors. And that would make the engraving stand out on the black. Because with black acrylic, or in fact, most colors of acrylic, if you just engrave into it, you can't really see it very well. It does benefit from some kind of effect.
That's a good point. We could have done an engrave on black and then gold. That would really pop.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of scanning the room to see if there's anything that I can demonstrate with now, but no, unfortunately, I think the answer is no. That's a shame. That is a shame.
I did pull up some wedding photos. We could talk through a couple of those. I just went quickly on Instagram to see what y'all are up to on there. This looks like probably a pass-through project, the We Still Do words. And this is a popular shape of the wedding arch, kind of this big circle, and then you can put either floral or words or whatever on it. I don't know if that was a wedding or maybe a vow renewal or a wedding when they've been together for a long time.
And we actually have
oh yeah.
This we printed. When did we do this now? Was it last week? can't remember.
Time?
Yeah.
What is time? Yeah, I think it was like last week or the week
before. But this is one of the pass-through prints that we've done in the past. This is somebody's name, says Aoife, and this is a single individual print using the Pro pass-through. And I think this is a similar technique to what they use with that wedding arch. You can see how this is actually much bigger than the printer itself, but with pass-through, you can print this way by feeding a sheet of material through to make things like that.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, we do have pass-through focused live streams.
All right, next one. Oh, this is cool. I like this a lot, actually, because these are notes, right, from people's guests.
So this was probably not at the wedding, but maybe was something that you made after with notes that people wrote.
And it looks like they've scanned the handwriting using the trace feature of every single person that left a note, compiled them in the app, and then engraved them onto this board, which could be just for display. It could be a serving board, something they use every weekend. But yeah, really nice.
I like having the people's handwriting is so special.
It's so much better than just typing it out, right?
Yeah, I love that.
It really is. Makes a big difference.
I've seen, I don't think we have an example of this, but I've seen the idea of doing a guest book, like where imagine if you just got a big nice piece of proofgrid and you kept the masking on it, and then you had people write directly on the masking, and then you just stick it in there, and then you don't even have to do any of that. I have a jar full of little notes we haven't even opened. I don't know what we're saving them for, an anniversary or something like that, and we could totally do that. That would be fun.
That's a great idea.
Cool.
Next one, another example of this sign, but also, I think what's cool about this, is the marshmallows in the background.
The marshmallows are engraved.
That's amazing, and it looks like this is a small bar, so I'm assuming you pick your marshmallow. Pick carefully. It looks like you could maybe side with the husband or the wife's family, so a political decision there. But that's really cool, and some foods work really well with the Glowforge.
Yes.
Great for parties. Well, this looks right up your alley, Bailey.
Look at that. That's so gorgeous.
Isn't it nice?
I love those colors.
Yeah. Sorry, I stopped talking for a second because I'm just looking at how this was done. It's
custom tap handles and then...
Yeah, custom tap handles, custom labels along the bottom. It looks like this is one of those large-scale signs that stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out if that's a really nice piece of wood or if that's like a bronze or a metallic effect. What's it called? Acrylic.
I don't know, but it looks amazing.
It looks very nice indeed.
I mean, some people who have a Glowforge and use it for an events business, they make things for really high-end events. I know for a fact that Glowforge made items have been on movie sets, at celebrity parties. We have a customer who does really elaborate like balloon arches, but also like Glowforge made accessories for them, if you will, and she's done like baby Kardashian parties. Like, this is nice stuff.
Yeah. Wow. All right, that could be you.
Yeah, that could be you.
Just saying. Yeah. Here's another nice example, and this is like pre-wedding.
Oh yeah.
And this is just, I think, just a fun thing that you can do for your guests, right? This is for the bridesmaid, the maid of honor, and everybody's name has been engraved along with their. Is it a title? I guess it is for that day, at least. Anyway, onto their coat hanger, so they know what dress is theirs. But it's just like a nice, you thought about me.
And just a keepsake afterwards, too. Right? That's lovely.
We got vows here, too. This might seem like an obvious one, but I think this is very nicely executed, right? This looks like it could be, given the fact that it's quite contrasty, I think this might be a piece of wood that they spray painted in white and then engraved the white away to reveal the dark wood underneath, something like that.
I love that effect, if that's what it is.
It looks really good. Very, very readable, a lot of detail. And then, again, the trace signature at the bottom. Super, super cool.
These are all things that you can do years after, too. Like, Nick and I, are old married people, but I'm like, we could do these things with exactly, not even for the wedding, but after.
Yeah. This is a great example of some found objects. Like Bailey, we call found objects things that you pick up from the store and then you put them in your Glowforge.
We found them at the craft store.
Yeah. We paid for them too. They weren't just on the side of the road. But like the signage that Bailey shared earlier,
like
palette tops.
Little mini palettes.
Same kind of thing.
And these are they even came with
it's perfect.
A couple ways to hang them, actually.
And sure, you could make this on the Glowforge if you want to.
You could.
We all know when you're DIYing, there are certain things where it's worth your time to create from scratch, and other things it's just better to
things like
purchase. Yeah, there we go.
Slate coasters. These you can buy, again at the craft store. There's a whole aisle, in fact, of like blank things, blank little signs, coasters. And I think that items are getting more because people are getting more machines and tools and ways to finish things, and everyone just wants custom these days. So, but yes, I went into a store and was just like, look at all these things I could put in the Glowforge.
At some point, they'll probably rename that aisle, right? Glowforgeable or something like this. I don't know what that will be.
We can only hope.
Yeah. But on the theme of those found objects, these look like a couple of very small vanity trays that they've popped into the Glowforge, engraved people's names or their signatures. So there's a catch-all place for the wedding ring, maybe on the wedding night, maybe these are on the nightstands at the hotel that you're staying.
Some of these things are nice to have, honestly, just for the photo. You're paying probably someone several $1,000s to take photos.
Great
Why not have a beautiful thing to like put? I know I bought like a fancy little ring box that had fake moss or something on it, and I mean, I don't even know where that is anymore, but it's not like we have it and treasure it every day, but like it looks beautiful in the photo.
Nice,
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And speaking of photos, I mean, we can do photo engraves too with the Glowforge,
oh,
right?
yes, yes. Here, let's show this one.
People have probably seen this before, but
this is the one we always show off.
Yeah.
Got to do a wedding one, but imagine if this was a bride and groom.
Right.
This, I mean, yeah, this is just a photo. It's a good one to do because of the nice contrast. Not every photo is right for a perfect photo engrave, but this looks
I bet if you pay $10,000 for your wedding photos, I bet they're pretty good pictures. And I bet they engrave pretty well too. You know, so you'll have a ton of options when it comes to trying things like this.
Oh yeah.
Or alternatively, like with this project here, it looks like they've taken one of their photos and created what is essentially a
like an outline. A silhouette. I love that.
Which again, super simple, probably really quick to do as well.
Yes.
And you could, I mean, so
actually,
thinking out loud in terms of execution, you could trace this with a pen.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even have to use computer software necessarily, right? Put it in, use trace, you get the outline, add the text with the premium tools, and that's it. Yeah.
We have a customer, a Glowforge owner named Audrey from Min to Be Designs, and that actually looks a lot like her style too. She does like family portrait, like ornaments. She actually did a class for us. It hasn't premiered yet. We're still working on it, but it's going to come out soon. And it's how to make that. So it's how to take a photo and make like a silhouette portrait. So
that's super cool.
Yeah. I think she uses software, not a pen, but you're right that you wouldn't have to.
But you could. Yeah. And I guess that's what's interesting about this, right?
Yeah.
It kind of flexes to your ability.
Exactly.
If you're more comfortable with a pen, use a pen. If you like software like me, use the software. And it looks like this is just finished, which is great. We can pull this out. And this is, you can stare at this, by the way. No problems with staring at it at all. And as soon as it's finished, we should let the fans just run for a sec to suck out any gases that might be in there. But we can open it up, and it's cool to the touch. So we can remove it straight away. So there is our scrap. There is our piece. And here is the result.
Okay, I'm going to peel this off.
Nice. And I'll start, I'm just going to reach over and grab this. I'm going to mix up some of this acrylic paint, and we can try that effect that we had on the
should I
other
not
one.
have peeled that?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we flipped this and engraved it backwards, if we scrub in this gold paint, we're not going to be able to see it from the other side because of the way that the acrylic is discolored. But I can still show you exactly how it works.
I see. Using both of these techniques together doesn't quite work.
Not necessarily. We could have absolutely done it by engraving the front, scrubbing it in, and then painting the back without flipping the text. But I thought about that too late.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So this is what it would look like if you, just like my signs.
Yes.
I didn't, and because the engraved kind of creates like a frosted effect, although Glowforge, doesn't print in color or anything, this does create a readable word on clear acrylic.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and that way I didn't have to do any finishing. But this is really fun, simple finishing.
Yeah.
So see.
I'm just using normal acrylic paint, by the way, too. Pick this up at Michael's, Joann's, wherever your preferred craft store might be. And a chip brush.
I'm just showing the detail up close. So this is the backwards. You can kind of see there's a little bit of, but then if you
want to scrub that in there?
From this side, yes.
Do you want me to hold the thing while you do it? So look, this is as simple as it is. It's just like using a crayon. So Bailey's just scrubbing that in. I'm untethered. I'm going to go around the front. Bear with me so you can see. There you go.
Okay, got
there we go. And I did bring some paper so you don't have to use your fingers.
They're already covered in black and white paint from Home Improvement this weekend.
There you go. Look, and you see how that just wipes off? And because the acrylic is perfectly smooth.
Look at that.
Look, so then you get a beautiful
Isn't that awesome?
Gold finish. Yeah.
So you can't see it from the other side, like we said. Well,
not very well.
So so if you're gonna flip it, then you don't need to do the fill. But if you don't flip it, the fill looks awesome, and the fill would allow you to, because the flip effect is really only for clear, right? The fill effect you can do on all those dark colors, like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
I meant to say about the flipping, though, and I forgot to pull out the example, is you can effectively create a whiteboard surface. So if you did want to create something that's reusable, maybe, thinking out loud now, maybe you have a photo booth. You could create like a speech bubble prop. People could write some message, take a photo, wipe it off, next guest say something else.
That's really funny. I love that.
That's it. Great. Acrylic is perfect for that kind of thing.
Okay, so you are painting over here now.
Yeah, so I just mixed up. It looks, looking at that design, it looks like it's kind of a rough mix of black and white. And so I am going to paint onto this side right here.
Just to show.
Yeah, just to show how this goes on. So again, just using that same sort of technique, not being very careful.
So you would have done the color underneath, yeah? You do the crayon and then you do the paint over it?
Yes, yeah, yeah. And so with this particular example, so one of the reasons I like these live streams is sometimes we make mistakes and it doesn't work out quite as we expected. This is one of those times. You can see, because I've painted the back, it's actually not as contrasty as it used to be. And that's fine. That's a mistake on our part. The nice thing about Glowforge is we can just print it again. We won't flip the text this time. We can add that gold fill
on,
just like we did
this
with those
side
ones.
and then paint the back, and then you'll have the tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of the fun though, like experimenting with a couple different techniques and figuring out what looks the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Different colors.
Let's compare these two just so people can see. If I
So
fold
this is with the gold on the front.
Yes.
So this was done with, I can feel a very slight, you know, engraved there.
Again, the same crayon, this lacquer fill paint. You can buy these just online on Amazon, I think about
And then the
$3
paint's
each.
on this side.
And the paint's on the back.
Yeah.
So this is my incorrect interpretation of this project, but I feel like we learned together today, so hopefully that was helpful.
Cool.
But you can see how simple and easy that kind of thing is, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I had fun. It did take a long time to print all the signage because I could have done something, you know, like this, but instead I did like a full page for each of my tables or something crazy like that. So I remember it was like a whole weekend of forging.
Right.
But
But that's okay, because you know, while you're printing, you could be experimenting with your, you know, shrub mixes and things like that for the drinks menu. You know,
it was fun. I really enjoyed it. That's actually, I don't look back on wedding planning very fondly. I found a lot of the like vendor logistics and stuff complicated and expensive and stuff, but making stuff was fun.
Yeah, this is great, and you got stories out of it now, and these props, which I'm glad you can bring in and share. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope that you have some wedding invitations coming in, like Nick. maybe he's coming to your wedding.
You want to take one of mine? I mean, you know, I've got a lot right now.
And these are some great ideas if you're hosting any sort of event, really. I mean, we went with weddings, but baby showers, anything this spring and summer, we just want to see each other and spend time together. Making up for lost time the last couple years. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.